As you may know, in the Stardew Valley 1.6 update, there have been a ton of changes to the game. Therefore, there are a ton of new tips and tricks circling around the community. So today, I have compiled a list of 16 random tips and tricks that are specifically for the 1.6 update. See what I did there? 16 tips for 1.6. Beautiful. These tips come from various places like the Stardew Valley subreddit, Stardew Talk, and of course, my own little noggin. My brain is kind of just like a black hole of Stardew Valley knowledge, and that's it. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the 16 new tips and tricks for the Stardew Valley 1.6 update. In the first 2 seasons of Year 1, before unlocking the big fall quest board, don't neglect the little help wanted board outside of Pierre's general store. Not only do these quests reward you with gold, but in the 1.6 update, you can now receive a prize ticket for every 3 quests completed. These prize tickets can be used in the new prize ticket machine in Lewis's house to receive a variety of very useful items, some of which can be very beneficial to helping you progress in early game. The cookout kit recipe item is now a lot more useful in 1.6. If you don't know, the cookout kit is a craftable item that can be used to create a small cooking fire used for cooking outside of the player's farmhouse, or before you have a kitchen. Before the most recent update, this recipe was obtained at level 9 foraging, rendering it basically useless because players usually have a full kitchen by the time they reach level 9 of any skill. But now, this recipe is unlocked at level 3 foraging instead, making it a much more useful item in early game for cooking helpful meals. But keep in mind that the kit will despawn after going to sleep and starting a new day. Once you've obtained the big chest recipe from Robin or the dwarf, instead of taking everything out of your old small chests and putting them all back into the new big one, you can simply plop the big chest right on top of the small one for a much quicker and painless move. Every summer there will be a mysterious weather event called the Green Rain event, where green rain trees and weeds spawn in large quantities throughout the entire valley. Be sure not to upgrade your axe without checking the weather during this season. You do not want to be left without an axe during this event. I like to get my axe upgraded to at least copper during the first spring, preferably steel if you can manage it. This weather phenomenon is great for stocking up on fiber, moss, regular mixed seeds, the new mixed flower seeds, and lots and lots and lots of wood. And you can even get your hands on a new mossy seed. And speaking of the mossy seed, let's talk about it. This new mossy seed, once planted, will grow into one of 3 green rain tree variations. If you're looking to grow a specific kind of tree, there is a way to force one of 3 tree types. When you first plant the seed, the 3 tree seeds are visually different. So by planting them and digging them back up and planting them again, it will change the seed type randomly. The planted seedlings will look like a green nub if it's a fiddlehead stalk, or little brown spikes if it's a normal wild tree. After getting your hands on your very first dino egg and placing it into a coop incubator to hatch your very first dinosaur, never donate your first dinosaur egg to the museum, by the way. If you go talk to Demetrius after the dino egg is hatched, he is so impressed with your achievement that he gives you his triple shot espresso because he simply cannot finish it. Thanks, I guess. After upgrading your hoe and watering can past their starter forms, you will now be able to strafe back and forth by holding the action button and moving your player around. This is helpful for when you aim in the wrong spot and need to make a quick correction. It also low-key looks like your character is hitting the gritty. I say right foot creep, walking with it. Raisins are a new artisan good made from putting 5 grapes in a dehydrator. The dehydrator recipe can be bought from Pierre's general store. If raisins are placed in a Junimo hut, then the Junimos will now have a 20% chance to double harvest crops. 1 bag of raisins is consumed by the Junimos every week, besides winter, and a small sign is placed outside of the hut. Multiple bags can be stacked in the hut, and they will be consumed over time. In the new farm type, the Meadowlands Farm, there's a new grass type that appears naturally on this farm, blue grass. But if you don't use this farm, there is still a way to get your hands on this special grass. The bluegrass recipe can be purchased from Key's Walnut Room on Ginger Island for 40 key gems. After finding 100 golden walnuts and unlocking the secret room, animals eating bluegrass gain twice as much friendship as from eating normal grass, and will produce 2 pieces of hay per grass when scythed. Holding shift and right-clicking on an item in your hotbar will cause you to drop the item quickly instead of having to open up your inventory and drag the item to the right or left. This is helpful in co-op games to quickly give someone something, or in a situation like the mines where your inventory is full and you want to make a quick swap. It also makes a really satisfying little sound. It's a good idea to bring a bait maker to the new mini fishing festivals. This new machine can be crafted after reaching fishing level 6. Placing 1 fish in the machine will produce 5 to 10 bait for that specific fish, making them much more likely to be hooked. In late game, there's a new type of totem that you can learn to craft called the treasure totem. The recipe is obtained from claiming foraging mastery in the mastery cave. This totem is used to spawn 16 artifact spots in a circle surrounding the player when used on tillable ground outdoors. Using the treasure totem on the dig site with a hoe bow that has the generous enchantment can yield 3,000 gold of treasure on average. This is done by converting omni geodes to artifact troves at the desert trader, and then opening them up at the blacksmith and selling your findings for profit. The treasure totem can also be used to obtain a certain tree sapling that is otherwise pretty hard to get your hands on. If you don't know, the banana sapling can only be obtained from the island trader for 5 dragon teeth, from Professor Snail after completing the large animal collection, or from breaking open golden coconuts. If you want a more reliable way to get banana saplings, you can simply use the treasure totem basically anywhere on the island for hella golden coconuts. Since there's a 1 in 7 chance that a golden coconut contains a banana sapling, you're very likely to get your hands on a couple of these bad boys. Plus, you can also find a bunch of artifacts for the island museum this way. And speaking of Ginger Island, once you've unlocked the secret Pirate's Cove area, if the player has the parrot egg equipped in their trinket slot while talking to the Pirate Cove bartender, you will receive 1 free mead. This can be done once per night. Plus, mead sells for 420 gold. Not a bad deal. If you don't know, trinkets are equipable clothing items that can be found after completing combat mastery in late game. Once you do unlock the trinket slot in your inventory, you'll be able to find a variety of different trinkets by slaying monsters, breaking open barrels, and opening chests in Skull Cavern. It is possible to obtain multiple of the same trinket, and these trinkets do not stack. So if you have a plethora of excess trinkets taking up too much space in your inventory or chests, a better use for them is to sell them straight to Marlin at the Adventurers Guild for 1,000 gold each. Or you can even give them to some of the villagers as gifts, as some of the villagers now like certain trinkets. Another item that you get from the Mastery Cave is the Statue of Blessings. This statue will give you 1 of 7 blessings upon touching it. One of those blessings is the Blessing of the Butterfly, which spawns a prismatic butterfly somewhere in the valley. More specifically, it can be found in Cindersap Forest, Pelican Town, the beach, the mountains, including the quarry, the secret woods, the bus stop, or the backwoods. Finding the butterfly will reward you with gold and possibly a free prismatic shard. The spawn place of this butterfly is seeded, meaning that if you restart the day, it will still spawn in the same place. So if you want to be a sweaty gamer, you can search for the butterfly at the start of your morning, which can sometimes take quite a bit of time. And when you find it, simply restart the day, reactivate the Statue of Blessings, and go straight to its spawn location without having to look all over for it all day. And that, my friends, are all of the new Stardew Valley 1.6 tips and tricks that I've compiled for this video. Do you know of any tips that I didn't mention today? Please feel free to leave your tips and tricks in the comments down below so that we can all help each other out. And if you found this video helpful at all, please don't forget to give it a like on your way out, and subscribe if you haven't already for more Stardew Valley 1.6 content. I live stream Stardew Valley Let's Plays here on YouTube every Sunday and would love to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!